For probably his whole life, my partner Toby has been like, I want to see a jousting match. And he's seen the movie A Knight's Tale a million times. We even went to see the Knight's Tale musical last year. But what if we could witness a real Knight's Tale? You always hear about all sorts of historical reenactment stuff happening in the world. Why, some friends of ours even used to be historical reenactors. He said, I really think we probably could see a jousting match in real life. And well, hey, after not too much online searching, he found one not too far from home, though admittedly not too close either. We inched into Scotland for it. The event we chose to attend was one hosted by Historic Environment Scotland called Spectacular Jousting on the 26th of July at the unique, triangular-shaped Caerlaverock Castle, and we were there for day 2 of a weekend-long thing. The itinerary had us thrilled before we even arrived, a falconry display and then 2 jousting matches in the afternoon, in between battle reenactments and adorable events where little kids could learn squire skills. That's my kind of day, sign me up! So we started telling our friends. We'll take any excuse to buy arts and craft supplies and get dressed up too, so here's my outfit. I said if anyone asks, we're a group of visiting nobles from the kingdom of far, far away, you know, where Prince Shrek abdicated the throne a couple years ago, hence I went for a Y2K does medieval type look, you know, Ella Enchanted core, skirt over trousers, and good thing too because I ripped my trousers when I sat down. I also made the Hennin Princess hat myself. Isn't she cute? Thank God I never film in HD, because if you saw this in person, you'd just see so many hot glue strings and pencil marks on here. Not good. Since we were a big group, we'd come by scattered convoy, and me, Toby, and 2 of our friends arrived first and early, giving us a chance to explore Caerlaverock Castle before things got underway. It's a splendid little castle with this gorgeous interior wall of windows that Toby looked at and said, and I would have to agree. We frolicked around for a bit and I hit the top of my absurdly tall hennin on every doorway, but what fun we had! Taking photos in a historical location while dressed up in fantasy costumes, it really gave us a thrill and I would love to do it more. As our other friends started to arrive, we floated down into the camp where there were just heaps of costumed interpreters set up in little tents, each with a beautifully detailed interior showing off a bit of medieval life. I believe there were 3 groups involved in the camp section of the event: Britannia XIV, Medieval Realm, and the Historic Saltire Society. We saw everything from cooks to basket weaving to looms to cartography to calligraphy and weapons, and well, wow, there was just so much. I needed at least another 3 hours to get around and talk to everyone, especially since once it hit 11 AM, the scheduled events started to get underway, beginning with the falconry display. This gentleman with just a splendidly Scottish accent gave us a demonstration from 3 birds, a little one, an owl, and then a bigger one. I like the owl the best. I really like those horns. Those eyebrows? The forehead feathers. There was then a brief break in between this and the next event where we got a little FaceTime with Ginny the Jester, accompanied by her big snail, Seamus. Ginny, we love you. Ginny, we owe you our lives. We loved chortling at your comedy. Next up, a battle reenactment that was more of a slaughter reenactment where a group of poor innocent townsfolk who were sat down for a picnic then got massacred by an army of unchivalrous knights. The medieval times were rough, and anyway, since we were situated closest to the townsfolk, my friends and I cheered hardest for them to prevail, which they did in most of their short fights until the end when they were murdered, though since it was a family-friendly day, we applauded them back to life a la Tinkerbell. And thank goodness too, I could not have the death of that little boy who fought bravely with a spoon as his weapon on my conscience. One of the townsfolk spoke to us afterwards, since we were cheering the loudest, and gave us some side quests to do, which involved going to ask specific questions of specific costumed interpreters in and around the campsite. We learned about what a fro is from the woodworkers. We learned about arrows from a guy named Callum ap Llewellyn ap Hewin ap Rhys ap Ryan ap Rhys ap Morgan, or something along those lines. I'm really sorry, Callum, it has been a couple of days now. Plus, we were sent to find and describe the heraldry of a Sir Bobby, who turned out to be the most adorable member of the entire medieval camp. Look, his ball matches his colour scheme and everything. And after that, it was time for the first half of the main event, Spectacular Jousting, Act 1. I say Act 1 since, again, this was a family-friendly event. It's theatre, and I love theatre. Now, The joust at Caerlaverock, if I'm interpreting the Instagram post from Les Amis stunt team correctly, is a follow-up joust, plot-wise, to what went down at the spectacular jousting event at Linlithgow Palace the previous month. This Instagram post here introduces the characters, stating that Sir Checkmate Fitzpercy of Northumberland, who I was convinced was called Sir Checkerboard the whole day, and who also literally had a checkerboard shaved into his buzzcut, like, hello, incredible, had defeated the other knights in the Linlithgow tournament, and was then issued a direct challenge from the Lady Sophia Genevieve the Golden of Berwick for ownership of her land, money, and most importantly, horses. Here's the event poster making the rivalry obvious, and of course, this incredible photo of Lady Sophia issuing her challenge to Sir Checkerboard. Yes, Queen, slap him with that glove. Lady Sophia's second is Sir Louis Le Grand, who they claim is French by birth and by name, but Scottish by everything else, and he's the dashing heroic type. And Sir Checkerboard's second is this mysterious mercenary with glorious hair, who didn't get a photo in the Instagram carousel. We were trying to find any link to A Knight's Tale, I can't lie, so we were all like, ooh, he has a bit of William Thatcher about him, look at that hair. The four principal cast members gathered in the middle of the arena for some dialogue that I really couldn't hear very well because they were sort of inconsistently mic'd up, but the gist of the convo was pretty much what I'd said. Lady Sophia's defending, Louis her second, Sir Checkerboard's hired a random merc on the day because he didn't think to bring a second, and Sir Checkerboard is glib when asked about if he read the terms and conditions of hiring that mercenary, so keep that plot point in mind. If I remember right, the squires warmed up the crowd with some tricks, and everyone had a go attacking this scarecrow of Sir Checkerboard. I think one of the squires peeled the scarecrow's moustache off and put it on their own face, which was funny. And then everyone took a turn hitting this spinny pole thing in the middle, and then they started slugging it out on each other with weapons. There were some shield hits and shield drops and weapon drops and a couple of exploded lances, which was thrilling. Toward the end of Act 1, Sir Checkerboard, the absolute villain, overcome with bloodlust, attacked the commentator, who declared it a foul, and that we would take a break for Sir Checkerboard to get himself under control before we reconvene for a rematch later that afternoon. So in between jousts, we scoffed down a little lunch, and we returned to the campsite to talk to a few more of the village people around. We also spoke to the event photographer, who told us that his brief was to take photos of the costumed visitors next to the castle, which is what he did. I'm currently hanging on to see if those photos appear, but we did also take our own in the same spot, just in case his pics never surface. Don't we all look so good? The jesters had also made their way over from the smaller stage into the jousting arena, and they were having a jousting match against each other. Ginny was there with Seamus, and the other jester was riding a chicken. They capered around for a bit, and my god, if this isn't my dream job, look at this. Obsessed. Then it was time for the second half of the joust. Act 2 opened with Sir Checkerboard continuing to be in trouble as he's trying to pay off the mercenary using what seemed to be a bag of badges instead of actual gold coins. Nobody's pleased with this. We all said, boo, pay your workers. Then when the action got going again, we had some more jousting. And while the mercenary is honourable, Sir Checkerboard continues to be out for blood, and we see him clashing with Louis on horseback, and then Checkerboard impales Louis with a lance, and then Checkerboard unseats Louis, and then Checkerboard tries to trample Louis. Like, it's really looking bad for our guy Louis. He gets carried away on a stretcher, and me and the gang were absolutely screaming like, no, not my man! And then I think at some point, possibly while witnessing this bad sportsmanship, the mercenary decided that he's not going to keep fighting on behalf of Sir Checkerboard, meaning that the next person up to the tilt is Lady Sophia, and she and Checkerboard have a long one-on-one kind of battle. They joust for a bit, and then they got off the horses and they started to do some armed fighting on the ground. Checkerboard broke out a whip, and then some throwing knives. He wore Sophia down until she's literally down for the count, and everyone's kind of hovering like, oh, is she okay? But like earlier with the townsfolk massacre reenactment, as a crowd we once again revived her a la Tinkerbell by clapping and cheering, giving Lady Sophia a second win to get back up on the horse and finish off Sir Checkerboard with a big old jousting sort of hit with the lance, and then she gives him kind of a threatening with a sword. But then she's like, I'm the bigger person actually, and she shows him mercy. So they finished on a handshake. Yay! So in the end, Sir Checkerboard learned to read contracts properly, and he was humbled. We finished with him and Sophia kind of riding on horseback with their hands clasped together. It was like friendship prevailed. Here he is, here they are, we're buddies now, hooray! So after that, we scurried over to Tryan's stage door once the show was over, and we managed to speak with everyone except for Sir Checkerboard, but we heard that he'd been given a cake just the day before by a really loyal and devoted fan, and I absolutely love that. Like, There must be people who attend this every year and really get attached to the characters, and I want to be one of those people. I want to be like tuning in every year and being like, what's going on with Sir Checkerboard this time? Like, what's he doing? Because honestly, I mean, we were cheering for Sir Louis, but Sir Checkerboard, I respect him. I respect the villainy. So we were introduced to the beautiful horses, we took some photos, we absolutely gushed with excitement about how fun the show was. The event ended shortly after. I think there had been some kind of rooting out the traitors type situation happening in the smaller arena where we saw the townsfolk massacre. But by the time we made it over there, I think the traitors had pretty much all been found. We were just too busy riding the high of the joust. We were kind of like, is this what it feels like to be a football fan? And Toby, as a football fan, said, yeah, pretty much. We hit the gift shop before we left, and then we left. This was a great day. It's obviously aimed at families, so it's certainly a great day out for you and the kids if you're a parent with like under 10s, but it's also a great day out if you're a group of childless adults who are each strongly attuned to their own inner child. Since it's a Historic Scotland event that seems to happen annually, those who are members of Historic Scotland get to attend at no extra charge because of their membership payments, but even as a non-member, £14-ish for an adult is pretty damn good for the amount of things that there are to do and enjoy, if you've got the right attitude for it, that is, to say a boundless enthusiasm and a love for pageantry and history and horses. I had an absolutely wonderful day, and now I want to attend a million more similar events. Sign me the heck up. I need to get more use out of my corset and my hennin. Also, Les Amis Stunt Team have been reposting all of the Sir Louis Thirst TikToks, and I'm obsessed with that. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you've made it this far, thank you. And you will see me again if there is another one. Goodbye.